Probably was my last day of school. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so it is currently almost midnight and I've been spending the past hour, 2 hours researching about stays and corsets because I'm very excited. So I have this idea. It is the end of 2022. I'm in my second to last year of high school and I've decided that on my last day of school ever, I'm going to walk into school and I'm going to be in a full-on ball gown. It's going to be stays, petticoat. I have approximately a year to prepare for this. Hopefully you'll be talking to 2023 me in a ball gown. So now it's an 1860s hoop skirt with 1990s or 900s decorations. So I think I'm gonna do like a whole big mismatch of stuff. I'm gonna make a pair of combinations because that seems fun, and I don't think it's going to alter the silhouette under the corset drastically, so I think it'll be fine. And then I might also alter the bodice shape and maybe make it more my own style, or see if I can find another era's shape that I like more. I don't know. That's where we are at the moment. Okay, so to say I've been bad at documenting this process would be an understatement. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But I will show you what I've done so far. So I am now working on the corset that will go over my pair of combinations. And I have got one side. So it's made out of this really beautiful brown silk fabric that I got that I freaking love. And it's not stitched. It's currently just hand stitched together and basted. So I basted the silk, which if you've ever worked with silk, it really sucks to work with. So, you know, basting it together really helps like it not shift around. And then I basted the pieces together so that the lines are all accurate and stuff. And now I am going to stitch together the sides of the corset. And then I can do the boning channel. I'm not sure. I have to figure out what I'm doing after that. But I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update because this is supposed to be a filmed project. I have not been filming, but I will endeavour to film more. Anyway, that's where I am at the moment. I will try to update you soon. But yes, this is where I am. I am procrastinating putting in this piece because if I do that, I'm going to be punching holes in my fabric, and that is nerve-wracking. Fun fact, so zip ties are incredibly expensive. I'm using them for boning, and I got them because they're cheaper than actual boning, yet not much. They're really expensive still. And I hate putting in eyelets. Eyelets are the pits. Anyway, so I've got the whole back section of the corset all eyeletted up, and I tried it on and it fits nicely. So now I'm having a great time watching Outlander and binding the top of the corset. And then I will cut the boning for size. And yes, it's coming along quite nicely. Now starts the process of what I've been looking forward to do, and actually the entire reason I wanted to do this project, the hoop skirt. So I'm using this Cinderella, don't know if you can see a pattern. It all looks very confusing and lots of knots and stuff, so that's gonna be fun. Also it's in inches, so I'm gonna have to convert that to centimeters and stuff, which is gonna be a pain, but you know, you do what you do. Tell me that is not the coolest thing you have ever seen. So when I ordered boning for the hoop skirt, I ordered an extra 5 meters. For some reason, I now do not have enough. I don't know what I did wrong, but obviously something. But so I need 6 inches. 6 more inches on one length, and because I ordered like 3 rolls of 10 meters extras, so they're just not connected. So I'm going to do something incredibly illegal. Duct tape. Let's see if it works. currently stitching together the boning to the channel walls, and it's probably the most finickiest thing I've ever done my entire life. So I did it, but half the pins fell out. So I've just spent the last hour measuring and repinning the stuff that fell out, and I am now stitching the final stuff down. And then I can put the boning back in. It's all very exciting. It's looking quite sad. Like, I mean, it's all flat. But they'll be fixed when I put the boning in. Now that the main hoop skirt is done, we embark on the fun journey of the petticoat. I have many an old bedsheet and much lace. My favourite thing about using bedsheets is everything's pre-hemmed. Isn't that absolutely wonderful? The endorphins and the happiness felt when a project is going right is only matched by the depression when it's going wrong, but touch wood, that won't happen for a while because currently it's looking so good. Hi! So, this is what I've done so far. It's the first petticoat. So, this gathered bit there is just a big rectangle. I cut like a sheet in half and then gathered it, and then with needle and thread lightly basted it around so we got the same shape, and then I made sure that the hemline followed the hoop skirt. So you can probably tell, but it's a lot longer in the back than it is on the sides and the front. That was intentional. It's not like historically accurate very much so, but it looks cool, so I'm doing it. So the first layer of the petticoat is just a big rectangle, and then I added 2 layers of like very meshy fabric. So there's this like lightweight one, and then this mesh one, and then that's all lined with lace. And then I've just pinned on this ruffle thing around the edge, which is also just a super long rectangle. I think it was like 8 meters long. And then that was gathered into a bit of bias tape that is now pinned, and I'm going to stitch to the main skirt. And then this thing was also trimmed with a bit of lace. And so the sheets I used are all pre-hemmed, which is fantastic. So like these strips, I try to cut them around the edges of the sheets to use as much of the pre-hemmed stuff. I did have to hem like 1 or 2 pieces, but it saved so much time that most of it was already pre-hemmed, which was great. But anyway, so that's what it's looking like now. Hi. So it turns out, don't sew on the last ruffle because the machine altered my pinning or something. I don't know. Anyway, now it's uneven, so I'll probably have to undo it and re-tack it up so that the hemline is even and stuff. Okay, so this is one of the top layers of the first ruffle of this petticoat with a bit of lace insertion. And then this is the 8 meter long ruffle. It's all hemmed with this pretty little scallopy lace thing. Alrighty! So, I think it's looking pretty cool. So I have my finished petticoat on underneath this one. There we go. This is all nicely measured and added and everything. And then I've just draped on this last petticoat because the problem is this. This is where the bottom petticoat ends. It's too flippin' short, and I want to try and smooth out that section. So now I've made a longer petticoat, but it's not as voluminous, and I don't know if it affects the spin of when I turn. I might just keep this original petticoat and then make the dress. And then if it needs smoothing, I do have this petticoat which I can use, which is annoying because I spent ages making panels, so stuff. Ta-da! So that's what it looks like. You can see it's just like a bit, I don't know, it's like that would be the ideal silhouette, but then the hoop skirt lays weird at the bottom because I didn't measure it properly because, you know, fun. Hang on, let me put it on the ground so you can see what it looks like properly. This is what it looks like. So you can see
got so much freaking flair and I love it. It's so much fun. Anyway.
Success! Okay, so I just came back from a mission to getting the top fabric for my dress. My plan for this dress is to have a brocade. So I've been checking op shops for like months, trying to find like a brocaded curtain would be ideal, or like a bedspread or something, because it's expensive, and getting it secondhand, more ethical, you know, cheaper, just all around brilliant. So that was the dream. That did not come true. I've been checking for so long and I found nothing. So today was my last hope, because I really need to get this done if I want to get it done in time. So I checked all the op shops, they had nothing. So it's caved, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Fabric Warehouse. I love Fabric Warehouse because they give student discounts and they're just all around lovely people. So I arrived, and they usually have like amazing selection of all sorts of stuff. And I went in and they're like, asked if they have brocades, and they have no brocades. That's the one type of fabric they say they don't stock. Brilliant. So that kind of backfired and I couldn't do that. So I asked recommendations of where to go. She was like, oh, I know Spotlight has brocades. I hate Spotlight. They're really expensive. The people there are always really grumpy and in bad moods. And always leave in a bad mood. So I just don't like going to Spotlight. But I was like, okay, fine, I really need this fabric. I'm gonna go look in Spotlight. So I was wandering Spotlight for about an hour trying to find fabrics. They had bedspreads that were, it's like, you know, bedspreads, cheaper way of buying fabric. Everything was on sale, half price, but it was still like $100 for a bedspread. So I didn't get a bedspread. So then I was walking around looking at the brocades, and they had some nice ones. There was one really nice one, but it was like $30 a meter, and also it was made for curtains, so it was really thick, so it would have like no drape. So I didn't get that one. But then I found this yellow one, which was really lovely, and I was like, okay, maybe I get this one. And then I was in Spotlight on the phone with Pizzatorium asking them if they had any brocades, because I didn't want to spend an hour bus ride to there and then arrive and be like, yeah, sorry, we don't have any. Anyway, the people on the phone didn't even know what a brocade was, so I thought, you know, I'm not gonna risk it. So I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to spend a lot of money and get the yellow one. So I take it to the cashier. She scans it and she's like, okay, we've got a big sale on the moment. So instead of $27 a meter, it is $18. Brilliant. Getting better and better. And then she was unrolling it, and there were a couple small markings on the fabric, so it was damaged. She was like, oh, and I was like, oh, I'm still happy to buy it, because they're really small, you don't really see them, if you give me a discount. So then she had to call up the manager to see if I was allowed to get a discount, and then with a bit of fighting and stuff, it's like, okay, sure, I get a discount. So now it's down to $14 a meter, which is reasonable, like really reasonable. I wasn't expecting to get that cheap. So I got 4 meters. So she cut out my 4 meters for me, and then scanned it, did the money without thinking I paid. And then I looked at the total and right after I paid, and I was like, you've overcharged me, because it's not $125 for 4 meters of stuff, $14 a meter. And true, I got some beads and other small stuff, but it's still not that expensive. And then she was like, oh, yeah. So when I was first getting the fabric, she first put it in the system, she scanned the fabric and put down 4 meters with the original price. And then when she redid that with the discount, the first one, she forgot to delete it. So they overcharged me, so now she had to give me a refund. Regardless, it was actually my best experience in Spotlight, because the lady was really lovely. So even though she was making mistakes and stuff, she was still nice, and she was not grumpy, which is quite rare. So that was very nice. Anyway, so I got a pretty good price, and I got this wonderful yellow brocade. You can see that. Anyway, it's really pretty, so I'm quite happy with that. And then earlier when I went to the op shops, I didn't find fabric for the main thing, but I found these 2 scarves. So they're these really pretty lightweight fabrics with like a lot of drape, and they're really lovely. And they were like $3 each, and they're like, I would say about 3 meters or so long, so 3 of them, so it's about 6 meters. And they're very drapey, and I'm gonna use them as like ruffles or something. I'm not quite sure. That's my haul. Oh, and then to top it all off, I got to the bus station on my way home. I waited precisely 10 seconds for the bus to arrive. Great timing there. And then I got into the bus and the little card scanner was broken. So he's like, yeah, just get on for free. So I got a free bus ride home. I mean, honestly, it was great. It did take like 3 hours of my life, but it's done. Now I have fabric and now there's no more stressing. So we're good. This is the corset that I made to go underneath the dress. And now I'm trying to figure out how to do like the bodice and everything. So I'm thinking if I make the bodice section reminiscent of the shape of the corset, it'll like lay on top. So what I've done is I've got the corset patterns, but I've cut them out a size bigger than what I did for this one. And then also, so this pattern, it's got a little bit of gap at the back, but not much. So now the size up pattern will not only go over this, but it will have a bit more space to close at the back. So now I have to do is I have to pattern a piece, because this is a bit too low, and I need to go back up a bit, and then shape the back as well as the straps that go along the back. And then I can just join those to like the skirt panel, and then that should be good. Yo! Okay, so the mock-up is done. It's looking so good and it makes me very happy. So I just added a temporary lacing strip at the back so I could tighten it and make sure it fits. And did need some adjusting things. So if we look on this side, this is like my original sleeves just pinned up. Got a bit of gaping there, and like at the back there's a huge bit of gaping right there. Not great, but I've just done a bunch of alterations on this side. So I've slimmed down the edge there, which looks a bit better, and then I've made a whole big pleat here, which I will add to the pattern. But otherwise, it fits, so it can be closed all the way basically, and it's very flattering because it's the corset pattern, and it's just, I love the neckline shape, and it's just looking so good. I don't like brocaded fabrics. Can you see this? I'm like covered in microfiber plastic particles, and it's awful, but ta-da! So, I didn't show the process of me making it, but I basted the pieces onto the fabric first. I really hate brocades. It's so fiddly and it like stretches and that looks so pretty. Anyway, so I basted that together. So that's what those big like stitches on top of the fabric are. And then I've now basted it all together. So all the pieces are now hand basted. And this is just so that I can get it like super, super precise. So tomorrow when I use the machine, it'll be, all the lines will match up perfectly. Okay, so the underlayer is all done. So I used the mock-up and then unpicked it and then redid the panels that were changed. And then I just like overlap fabric on the very top section so that when I do the top, there's no colour of the underlying peeking through and stuff. So that looks neat. But yes, now I can start pinning it to the outer layer. Okay, so I know that looks a little bit absurd at the moment because the bottom's obviously not finished and the corset and stuff sticks out, and I'm wearing pants underneath. But anyway, so this is what the bodice looks like now. So the back looks a bit messy, but then that's because it'll have an overlay of this fabric underneath, so that you can't see the lacing of the corset and stuff. I think it's pretty good. I don't know if I like it, but I mean it does fit pretty nicely. I was gonna add like boning to this, but the boning of the corset has enough structure that I think I can probably get away without it. The sleeves are a little bit long, but I think that is because it's sitting higher than it should, but then it has to sit that high because it has calculations and stuff, and if I pull too much lower, the corset and stuff hooks up to the top. But I suppose I could do that as well. And I think I'll have to do something to adjust the pair of combinations underneath so that it fits a bit nicer. I did maths, can't really see that. Anyway, those are my calculations for the skirt because
So basically what I'm doing is I'm creating 6 small triangle panels, each of them a different length. So the first 3 are going to be, well, they have to be 100 centimeters long to cover the whole thing. However, I'm using those scarves I got from the op shop. So they're quite big. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them in half. So they are 35 centimeters long, like that, or like 35 centimeters that way. And then that's going to be ruffled up into the very base of the skirt and create a bunch of flare. This is going to save me fabric because I won't need those last 35 centimeters out of the main fabric. And then also, I don't have enough, I don't want to spend that much money to get like tons and tons of the main fabric so that it still flares. But now the bottom will still have like loads of ruffles, and then the top can be more fitted. So, I need 6 panels. 3 of them are 65 centimeters long, and then one of them is 75 and the other one is 85. So now I'm going to cut that up into little bits, and yeah, so basically now my masks are done, and I can stop. Oh, so I've been working on the bodice, but now I'm going to take a bit of a break and work on the skirt. But this is what it's looking like so far. So I've done beads along the very end, you can see. I'm still in the process of stitching it. So what I've been doing is with hand stitching, I've been going through the center, or just like going around and then hooking it between each and individual bead. So you can't see any thread, but it's attached all securely. It takes a really long time, but it looks very cool. And then I'm going to add this strip of bead that I did, which is basically just a plait with beads. And that's going to be added over there. And then I've got a strip of these beads, which are just threaded as well. And those are going to go there. And then I've got some other beads that I'm going to stitch on. It's going to be this very fun beaded shenanigans around the neckline. But yes, I think I'm going to start cutting out the skirts. I'm procrastinating because I don't want to cut my fabric, but you gotta do what you gotta do. It's got, see, it's the base of the skirt. My maths obviously sucks because what the hell is that? Why doesn't that, oh, I'll fix it. I'll make it a design choice. But otherwise, the panels look nice. That needs a little bit of fixing up, so it's just better. But basically, this front panel opens up, and that's how you get in and out. And then it'll tie something like that. And then this will hang from there and form a fun little ruff. But that's what it looks like so far. Okay, so I have the bodice, and so I added this bead along the neckline, which looks really pretty. Another layer of beads I've been doing, this like really fine, pretty one. But for some reason, it's like, God, lighting is horrendous. Let me change that. So you see that? It's like buckling, which looks awful. So even though the half that I did took me like, what, an hour? Maybe over an hour? I'm going to undo it, because it doesn't look good. Because like that looks so nice because it's like neat and like flat. Don't know why that one's not working. Oh well. Okay, so you'll see in like the try on video that I was not very happy with how the skirt was looking. It had like this weird like bunching at the back, and the waist was too tight, and then it was like a anyway, I thought it looked pretty terrible. But I really don't like quick unpicking brocade because it like, the threads are so loose, so it's really easy to pull out threads. And anyway, so I was tempted just to be like, oh, to hell with it, it looks alright. It's not perfect, but it's okay. So glad I didn't do that. I just worked on it. It took me very quick to fix, and now it looks so much better than it did. So I just smoothed out all the seams a bit, and yeah, no, it looks way better. So as you can see, I've just like pulled in, the way it works now, there's no like, as there was before, that right angle. Now it's more just like a smooth gradient, and it looks just way nicer, and I am quite happy with it. You know what I don't get? Also got a cat on just being very cute. But if you look at this hemline, I'm just lying on the floor and looking at it. Do you see the different lengths of lace? I spent hours getting those to line up, like hours. And now they're not. Like, do you know how long I spent adjusting that to make sure the layers of petticoat were in line? Those obviously didn't work. Anyway, the cat's being really cute. Hey. Okay. Oh, the neckline is done and it looks so good. Makes me happy. Okay, so she's looking good. The neckline is necklining. So I'm not good at maths, and I'm not good at maths. But I still, anyway, so the skirt's a bit weird. If we look at that, look how far it is from the front, and look how far it is from the bottom on the side, and then the back. It's not even, which kind of sucks because I use the selvage edge because I want to use it as like part of the pattern, but now I'm gonna have to cut it because it's not even, which is a real bummer. You see that? Right there. It's a freaking spider! That was traumatic. I still don't know where the spider went. But basically the cat tried to eat it and then it ran up the skirt to me. I have never yanked off a skirt so quickly. I was supposed to be doing a whole try-on thing for the fitting and now I really don't want to put it back on. I've gone through every single layer of the petticoat. There is no spider on them. I don't know where it went. So if I could find it, then it would be fine because then I could take it outside and I would know it's not on me. I've like brushed out my hair to make sure it's not my hair. I don't know where it went and it's a bit concerning. So I have this fabric, which I showed earlier, that is very light and flowy that I'm gonna use as the trim. However, I don't think that it color matches very well, a second, to the fabric of the dress. If you look at that, it's like pink and yellow and it actually looks better. Well, actually maybe, I don't know. But my feeling is I either use this the way it is, or I did some experiments and I can use turmeric to dye it. So this is what it turns out. So that's a little swatch of this fabric. And when you put in some turmeric, and that color matches really nicely. However, I did how it affects other things. So this is the trimming that I've already stitched onto the thing. And this turned out like a, can't really tell on camera, but it's kind of green and like really sickly yellow and it doesn't look great. But then I mixed the turmeric dye and then I stained it with coffee. And this fades the color, so it's a bit more warm toned. So that looks better. And then I did the same with the fabric because it's already stitched on. I'd have to do the fabric as well. And it also makes it a more warm tone, which really looks nice. So my dilemma is, do I dye the whole fabric to the yellow so that color matches, or do I want the contrasting kind of pink? Thing is, on the camera it looks kind of white, but it's not. It's really pinky. And you can see it all together, it looks like that. And when you look at it on the camera, like single layered, it's kind of white, but it's not. And also the white, the bright white of the trimming, I don't think it looks great. So I think I probably will dye it. I hope it doesn't turn out terrible because turmeric stains and there's no going back. But it should be fine. Fingers crossed. Okay, so the mix of turmeric and coffee made this really nice yellow. However, the lace turned gross. So I've rolled it up into a tube with all the lace in the one section, and I'm going to dip that point first into coffee, and hopefully that will mute the color. Do you see that? It's pink! Pink! Where the hell did that come from? It's kind of pretty though, but like, huh? This is the fitting I was supposed to do earlier, but I didn't. Anyway, so as you can see, I fixed the skirt, so it hangs much nicer now. And then
I was looking at the length of that, so I'm going to add little clippy things there, and then I'm going to finish the edge of this, and then I have little clips that clip these two together so it forms a dress. But then it's all very fun. Yay! So basically, no matter what I do, the lace on the end is a putrid yellow, and I hate it. So currently I am quick unpicking 12 and a half meters actually, of this yellow lace off my ruffle. I'm going to be here for the next century. So I've decided I hate it. So I'm going to undo it, and I was like, anyway, I don't like it, and I want to add some sort of fun things, but anyway, yeah. I've been making so many mistakes and having to quick unpick so much. Anyway, but that's the vibe. Okay, so I'm moderately stressed. I have exactly a week to finish this dress. So don't ask me how this project was decided on a year ago, or over a year ago, and I am now on the final week, and I have lots to do. So that's fine. Also, it's my final week of school, so I've got major assignments and stuff due this week, as well as like prize givings and awards and just in general farewell end of school things, and like design and just studying. It's going to be a really fun week. I think it's going to be some really late nights this week, probably. And I mean, I could always like forego a bunch of the beading and make it easier, but I really don't want to. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the week. Also, I don't know if I've told you guys this, but the last day of school that we have is Halloween. So I'm going to be wearing a big ass ball dress, but everyone else will be dressed up too because it's Halloween, which works out great. So I won't, well, I'll stick out anyway because I'm going overboard, but I won't feel like an attention seeker, which is great. Anyway, so that's the plan. I should be going to bed, but I'm not. Also, so do you remember the lace that I had that was like a freaking puke yellow? So I quick unpicked it off the thready thing, 12 and a half meters of it. It took like hours. And I quick unpicked it. And then I was like, oh, do I put it back on or not? So I fixed the color. It's still yellow. And I mean, it's still like slightly brighter, but it looks a bit worse on camera, but in person it actually looks really nice. But this has gone through like 4 bleach sessions and then toned down with coffee. Turmeric stains, my actual god. Anyway, so that's that. I need to stitch that back onto the edge of the dress, and then yeah, it's gonna be fun. But that's the update for now. Hi, so I have to go to school in like 10 minutes. Yeah. I woke up feeling a bit sick this morning, which is really so fun. So I made myself a big cup of ginger lemon tea, and I have a whole big thermos of ginger tea that I'm taking to school. But anyway, so I'm trying to get a bit of this done this morning now before I head off. Well, not very much because I have 10 minutes, but like a little. And then yeah, try and get a bit done this afternoon, and it's gonna be so good. God. I'm about to call my mother and chop all this lace in half. So basically, it's this really pretty lace, and I want to use the trim at the base of the dress. I only have 6 meters of it, and I need 12 for it to go around the entire thing. So I'm gonna chop it up, and then if it starts fraying, depending, I'll take it to school tomorrow and overlock it. But yes, that's the plan. Hi, so it's Friday morning. I didn't do anything yesterday. Well, I didn't do anything on the dress yesterday because I had school and then work until quite late. And then I decided to take an early night because I'm sick and I don't want to be more sick, I want to get better. Anyway, but I did do stuff on Wednesday night that I didn't film. So you saw me chop up the lace in half. Damn, you can't see anything. So I stitched that onto the bottom of the thingy-mabob, so like that. And I did like a quick pin up so you can kind of see what it looks like. But that's going to be gathered into the bottom there. Anyway, so that's my plan for this afternoon. No, it's not. I've got an interview with my hopeful university next year. When I get back from that, that's what I'm doing, I think. Or I'll do that tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see. But yes, I now need to go, otherwise I will be late for school. But I thought I'd give a quick update on what's going on. Okay, so you know those pair of combinations that I made that I spent ages slaving over? I actually don't know if I filmed any of it, so you might not have seen very much of it. But anyway, the combinations that I'm slaved over, they don't fit under the dress. They look really bad at the top section. It has like, I don't know, so I've decided it would just, it's not what I want. So now I'm not going to be historically accurate, and I'm just going to make a pair of bloomers, because I need something to wear under the dress. Quick intermission to watch the Rugby World Cup. South Africa won. Quite fun watching that in New Zealand, surrounded by New Zealand supporters, but you know. Anyway, back to sewing. Twisting, I can't even see it, wire, great times to reinforce the hoop skirt because the shape's a bit weird. Okay, so now I'm working on the sleeves. So I'm making 3 tiered circles. So there's this one in like a yellow, this one which was that color, but I dyed with a bit of like turmeric coffee berry. Anyway, trying to tone down the white and make it more of like a mid-tone between those two. And now I'm going to cut out 2 circles in this white one, and then it's going to be like a pretty half circle-y sleeve thing, because I'm going to cut out like, it's going to be basically like a circle skirt, so it's going to have a circle in the middle here attached to the sleeve, but just flowy. And then to hem them, I've already tested it out with this little one here. Because it's an acrylic fabric, I'm just burning it and melting the edges so it doesn't fray. And it's working really nicely. And it's not as bulky as seams, so that is what I'm doing. Anyway, I just had my second to last day of school. Today we did like signing t-shirty things, so we wore white to school and got everyone to sign our t-shirts. All very fun. And now I have one afternoon to finish this dress, which is fine. I think I'm pretty good. I didn't show this yesterday, but I did the sleeves on the dress. So I stitched them in. I don't know if I like them. They're okay for Tuesday. I'll see, I might remove them eventually, but I don't know, I'll see when I wear it properly, but that's the sleeves. They're very flowy, they've got like the different, gosh, you can't see. Oh, there we go. Got like the different tiers, so we've got like a lighter yellow tier at the top, and then it goes into a darker coffee stained one, and then the white. I think it'll look better when it's actually obviously laced up, which I don't feel like doing now. But it's getting very Hermione from Harry Potter. Anyway, that's my update for now, and now I am going to fix, oh, I don't even think I showed you this either. So, it's my hoop skirt. The shape was not right. It was like really flat in the front and giving like a century before. Anyway, so me and my brother twisted a bunch of wire and wove it in and like squished it so now it like sits better. But as you can see, it still like moves. So what I'm going to do is with waxed thread bind it in place in a couple spots, and that will make it hold its shape a bit better. But that's what I'm going to do this afternoon, and then hopefully maybe do a bit of cleanup a bunch of other things, but yeah, it's going good. Last try on before tomorrow. God, I can't fit anyway, but it's very fun. So I need to get dressed and start getting ready. I have about an hour and a bit before I need to go. But yeah, probably it's my last day of school. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so my base is all done. I have stockings on. They're kind of the wrong color. I would have preferred like white, but I didn't have any. And I did my hair up. My hair's too short to do like the proper braided buns they do, so mine's just a very simple bun with 2 small braids, and then necklace. Technically at this stage people put on their shoes as well, but mine are heels. I can't really walk in heels, even though they're tiny, they actually kill me. So I'm putting on those just before I leave, and I'm bringing Converse to school because I don't know if I'll last all day in heels. But yes, that is it, and I need to start putting on the big skirt, which is currently my dress form. But I don't want to put on yet because when that's on, I can't get into the rest of the house. So I have to make sure I'm done with everything in the house. So got all my lunch, everything, breakfast, everything sorted because I can't fit in the kitchen and the bathroom with the skirt on. So yeah. My biggest fear, oh my voice, my biggest fear today that it was going to rain because I didn't want my dress to get wet. Instead, it's sunny, it's blue skies, and it's supposed to be like 21 degrees, which for Wellington is insane. I'm actually going to die. I'm going to melt into a puddle. Anyway, careful what you wish for. I'm all dressed. Okay, so videos just now. It's our last class ever. Amazing. Exciting. And it's biology. Best class to have last. I think so. You like bio? Actually, no, I like the people in bio. The people. No, and I do like bio. No, I do. I wish drama was last, but that would be cool. Actually, that wouldn't be sad. I would be sobbing. Well, then you're not wearing makeup, but then I was sobbing this morning. It was so sad. Yeah, I was hugging you. I was hugging a lot of people because it was sobbing. Yeah. Anyway, it's like freaking 21 degrees and I'm sweating. It's really hot. Especially in those sweats. I ripped my dress and I was not fixed with double-sided tape, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm colour matching a lot of stuff. Like my hair goes with the tie, which goes with the lipstick. Right. I know. That's amazing. This is our last time in a school classroom. Okay. But this. I reckon that's a summer fit because people back in the day sure as hell did walk around in dresses like that in this weather because I am melting. I've never been so sweaty in my life. And go take a shower because it's flipping out.